But all right, what's good, y'all? What's good? We got my man Street Scores in the building.
What's happening, y'all?
We're gonna let 50 people get in, and then I'm gonna ask my guy a couple questions here. Shout some people out real quick. Derek JB, what's up, man? John Fleming, my guy Thomas Rice, my guy Brian Harden. He's a channel member. Shout out to him. Make sure you guys join that channel membership. Jefferson, what's up, man? Rich, NGL, what's up, man? Speedy, Door Gunner, Argo. I know y'all been waiting for this one. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. I know y'all been waiting for this one. Let me see something real quick. But yeah, I'm a
Argo.
Yeah, Speedy. That's my guy. That's my guy right there. All right, we got 30 people on right now. Yeah, we're gonna let 50 people get in the chat, and then we're gonna get it going. We're only gonna be on for an hour. So Andrew,
Brody.
what's up, man?
Brody, come on.
It's me, Outlaw King.
Say hi.
Brody's a special guest too.
Yeah, sir. I saw somebody just requested him, so I brought him up here real quick. Say hi to him real quick, Brody. Give me a high five, I'll let you down. All right, you got it. All right. Well, there we go. People saw Brody. Now I can leave him alone. He don't like being picked up like that, so I just do that real quick for them to see him, and then I got to put him back down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna let 50 people get in. Burndale, what's up? Rich, what's up?
My boy Rich, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's my guy. You got LeBron. You got LeBron in your picture, so yeah, I can't let you join the stream on that one. JB Hardy, what's up, man? Shout out JB Hardy, channel member. What's up, man? All right, good. We got 64 people, so we're gonna get it started. We're only going for an hour, so it's gonna go by real quick. But this is a question I ask everybody. What made you become a Redskins fan?
But I was born in Maryland. Hold on, my mom wrote it all down because I don't remember my Maryland roots. Born PG Hospital, lived in Landover, Mitchellville, Largo, and then back to Mitchellville before I moved to Atlanta. And my mom and my granddad are all Redskins fans, so I could have been born in Alaska. I was gonna be a Redskins fan. It didn't matter.
Oh man, what's up, Juan Gotti? What's up, man? And what made you start a YouTube channel?
My boy that I'm about to start a podcast with every Friday night. We when I went to St. John's in New York for college, he had a radio show and basically just invited me to join. So I just started doing radio, like sports talk with him. And then when I came back to Atlanta after I graduated, I was like, I basically might as well continue it, but I'm gonna focus mine on Redskins more so. He's a Patriots fan. So and then basically I just started my YouTube channel. Like, let me start some Redskins talk and stuff like that. That's literally how that started.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Hey, St. John's is lit though. They got a lot of history up there, especially basketball history.
Oh yeah, super basketball history.
Yeah. Pedro, what's good, man? What's up, man? What's up, Pedro? Shout out to Pedro Swiss. Make sure you guys go sub up Pedro. Make sure you guys go sub up Juan Gotti. Shout out to Scotty 419 for the donation. He said, "What's good?" And my boy Rico. Finally got my man Street Scores on. This is the moment y'all been waiting for. We finally got it popping. We finally got it popping. All right, so we're gonna get into the skins questions, skins news. So of course we gotta talk about Jalen Ramsey. I wanna get your thoughts on Jalen Ramsey. Now everybody saw the tweet where he was defending our guy Dwayne Haskins, defending him against, I forgot the reporter's name, but we know Albert Breer made a tweet supporting Dwayne Haskins, and Jalen Ramsey went to his defense. And then not only after that, DC Sports XP or something like that. I watched your video about that, and he photoshopped Jalen Ramsey into the Redskins picture, and Jalen Ramsey liked the picture, the Instagram picture. Now, I don't want to get into the hype, but if he did become available in 2021, what would be your move? Would you throw him the bag of money? Would you throw him the 20 mil or 21 mil that we think he's going to ask for, or would you just go somewhere else with a corner position?
Me personally, I would just go ahead and throw the bag at him. I'm a huge fan of Jalen Ramsey, even since college. And he just never seemed obtainable until this new Ron Rivera era. Like, it seemed like there was just no way he would possibly want to get traded here, let alone come here in free agency. So just to have another alpha dog, especially in the DB room with all of the uncertainty we have. I mean, we have 2020 to see if anybody steps up. You know, Kendall, I mean, we already know Kendall Fuller in the slot, but Jimmy Moreland, Fabian Moreau, Ronald Darby, we have to see if they'll step up. And if only one or two of them step up, I definitely say still go get Jalen Ramsey to be that true lockdown corner. Jack Del Rio would love him. You know, he loves his press man corners. Aqib Talib, Chris Harris back in Denver. So, I mean, he would just have an even more talented version of those two guys. And then the pass rush, I mean, I say throw the bag at him. I'm sorry. Because then we can go, I feel like we can go offensive line early next year's draft.
Right. Okay, so does the previous free agent moves, does it scare you a little bit, like the Josh Norman fail, you know, the Albert? I hate to bring up Albert Hainsworth, you know, and then
it's like saying Voldemort.
Nah, bro. Yeah, him and Bruce Allen, they're in that same boat. And then you know, Jalen Ramsey, you know, he kind of had the problems on the sidelines with I forgot the Jacksonville coach name. And then he had, you know, the questionable back injury and the questionable flu, and then he forced his way out of the Rams. Do you think Ron Rivera would be able to handle that kind of that ego or that kind of personality here in DC?
For one, I feel like if anybody can, it's Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, since like not even just culture wise, but like the proof is in the pudding. Like Jack Del Rio has taken 31st ranked defenses and within a year turned them into top 5 defenses. So I just felt like out of respect for that, Jalen Ramsey would, you know, calm down some of the off the field antics. I mean, and he didn't really start acting out in Jacksonville until everybody started being upset. I mean, Calais Campbell was mad. Leonard Fournette has been speaking out. Yannick Ngakoue wants out. So I feel like it's not necessarily just a Jalen Ramsey thing. I think everybody just dislikes Tom Coughlin, and now they have a bad taste in their mouth for the Jaguars organization, and everybody just wants a fresh start. So Jalen Ramsey basically just took matters into his own hands, faked whatever injury he had to, spoke out, and so I don't really knock Jalen Ramsey for that. I won't really take away points for that, and I just feel like the respect for this team. I mean, even though Jonathan Allen hasn't played up to his potential, just guys like that just breathe winning. Like they show they really, really care about football first and foremost. I feel like that will, you know, be infectious, and he'll just want to be part of a program of something better. And especially since, I mean, the Rams have been great, but if anything, I feel like they're more so on the decline. Now, I feel like we are on the decline, even though it's easy to say because you really can't go any worse than what we've been. But I definitely feel like, you know, joining a team on the rise would be a smart move for him also. Right,
that's facts. And then I wanted to get Adrian Peterson. We all know my guy. He said he thinks we can run the table. You know, you can take that for what you want. You know, I don't. You know, some people think that he means that we're going to Super Bowl. Some people thought he meant that we're going undefeated. You know, so what did you take that comment? Do you think he's outlandish with the comment, or do you think it's something that he was saying, oh, we can make the playoffs?
I'm taking it as we can win the NFC East at the least, and then Super Bowl. I'm not taking undefeated. I hope he didn't mean undefeated, because that's wild. But I mean, because even Patrick Mahomes and them haven't gone undefeated yet. So I mean, but I see what he's saying. I feel like it may be like a what's it called? Like a not politics type of what's the word for it? Propaganda. I feel like he's just trying to get everybody corralled into believing that this team can be great instantly type of thing. That's what I feel like he's doing. I feel like he's just trying to motivate people and say, I mean, like, and make sure like not only other people on the outside, because that doesn't really even matter. I feel like he's speaking specifically to Redskins players like, hey, look around, the talent, the coaching, the new front office. We can actually be way better than what outsiders believe we can be. And I do like the fact that he stuck up for everybody and was the voice and basically saying, don't sleep on the Redskins. But me personally, I believe we can make the playoffs, especially with the different playoff format. But I definitely don't see Super Bowl. I for sure don't see undefeated this season.
Yeah. I love my guy AP, man. I feel what he's saying. I think some people took it out of context and think he's saying we're undefeated or whatnot. But I feel what he's saying. I think if our defense, you know, comes to play under Del Rio and Ron Rivera, I can definitely see us winning, 7 to 9 games. But And then PFF, I don't know if you saw about our wide receivers, but they got us ranked dead last in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I've seen that tweet
Yeah.
somewhere. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I can't be too mad at him because you got to put in the work, you got to put up the stats. Even though I feel like it was more so inconsistent quarterback play last year, more so than the receivers being bad. But yeah, I definitely think we'll definitely end the year way beyond that easily. And we'll be able to, screenshot that tweet and present it to him by the end of the season.
Yeah, for real. So, how many running backs do you have making the roster? And who do you think is going to make the roster? It's a tough one. It is. It's a lot
I think about that almost every day, man. Honestly, I mean, it's like one side, two people if they're healthy. Derrius, Guice, Bryce Love. Then you have Peyton Barber and J.D. McKissick, who aren't, of course, fan favorites, but they're actually better than what people think. Then you have new guy and Antonio Gibson, ultra talented, all of the potential in the world, versatile, but very raw. And then you have Adrian Peterson, who's you can bet on him to play 16 games, get you 1,000-yard season if he's the premier back. So I feel like because Antonio Gibson also goes hand in hand as a receiver and a special teams returner, I feel like we may go 5. I feel like we can possibly go 5 just because Antonio Gibson is like a fantasy football flex option.
Right.
And he'll basically be that on the roster too. So I feel like I'm just being optimistic. I'm just an optimistic person. So I'm going Derrius Guice and Bryce Love being healthy. I'm going Adrian Peterson for dependability. And then I'm going Antonio Gibson, versatility. And then my last spot may go to J.D. McKissick.
Right.
Maybe. I'm thinking. But Peyton Barber's a nice 3-down back that also can do a little bit of receiving. But I think when in doubt, they probably go with J.D. McKissick, especially since Peyton Barber's contract is 2 years. But it's set up to where they could easily release him this year and it won't even be much dead cap. So those are my 5 personally. Optimistic 5.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think Peyton's the odd man out. I got Guice. How you feel about Guice, man? A lot of people are already giving up on Guice. How you feel about Guice, man?
I'm definitely one of those people. I've been swinging in the middle of the crowd. I believe in Guice personally. I feel like all of his injuries, they have been kind of back to back, but they've been like really fluke like injuries. Like when normally when NFL players hurt their leg, they end up hurting the other leg because they're overcompensating and stuff like that. Right. He hasn't received an injury like that to me where it's like a nagging injury or a reoccurring thing. It's just been like 3 separate freak accidents, in my opinion, me personally, since NFL. I mean, college is a little bit different, but a lot of people come out of college injury prone, stay fully healthy for the NFL. So I don't really, I'm kind of excluding college a little bit, but I believe in him personally. I believe if he can stay healthy, he's probably our most talented, ready to go running back right now. As far as we saw what he did on that screen pass on, I think it was Dwayne Haskins, his first touchdown in his career. Basically, Derrius Guice did all the work. You know what I'm saying? He's faster than what people think. He's big, so he's like a Marshawn Lynch type of run people over guy. I love his potential. I mean, and then with the way our offense is going to be set up, you can have Guice and Gibson on the field at the same time in the backfield. So, I'm very excited about Guice. I say definitely give him another chance, easily for me.
Yeah. It's crazy how people giving up on. I understand why though, because the preseason game he gets injured on a third play or something like that. Then the Eagles game he got injured. Then the Packers game he gets injured. So it's been tough. But no, it's games like the Panthers game, the Packers game before he got hurt, and like you said, that Jets game where it's like if Guice stays healthy, and we have Guice, Bryce, and AP. It's like, man, we can just run the ball and play good defense. I feel like we can get 5 or 6 wins just off of them running the football. So, that's why I feel like the Redskins, we really could be that sleeper team that goes 3-13 and possibly, if everybody stays healthy. It's a lot of ifs that have to happen, but we'll get to the wide receiver. How do you feel about the wide receivers? Like, who do you think is gonna make the roster? Because I know, we already talked about how they ranked 32. But but how do you feel about him? Who do you think is gonna make the roster?
You already know, Scary Terry. It's not even fair. I feel like this year he's really going to put himself on the map and going to earn the respect, especially if there's consistent quarterback play from Haskins, which will allow him to put up the stats that he deserves to have. Because, I mean, even Derrius Slay said it from the Lions. He was like, he would have killed me for like 2 touchdowns if the quarterback got on the ball and stuff like that. So I feel like McLaurin, of course, there's not even too much to talk about with him. I love Steven Sims in the slot. I mean, that Cowboys game really showed me as long as he can, catch more consistently, he can get open. Him separating is easy. So I believe in him in the slot. I love Kelvin Harmon's potential. He's never going to be fast, but with him being 6'2" and having great hands and being a great blocker, I believe in him. He has pretty high potential. Santana Moss said he loved him. He says he hasn't even scratched the surface. And then, of course, Antonio Gandy Golden, who we just drafted. 6'4". He ran a 4.6, but he looks faster than that on tape, in my opinion. So I'm not worried about speed issues. And even then with speed issues, he's too big for anybody to cover him as long as Dwayne Haskins puts it in that sweet spot where only he can get it. And then, I mean, once he works on his route running a little bit better, I mean, he's going to pretty much be unstoppable, and especially with Terry McLaurin commanding all the attention. And then after that, I definitely believe in Isaiah Wright, mostly because of special teams. I love him special teams wise. I think it's going to be him and Gibson, maybe Steven Sims, but I feel like they're going to delegate Steven Sims to just being a pure slot receiver. So I feel like he'll, just alleviate his return duties. And so I feel like it'll be Gibson and Isaiah Wright. And so Isaiah Wright is going to make the team special teams just period. But I also feel like he can contribute in the receiver game once he works on his route running a little bit better, because he's also versatile and fast like Gibson. So I'm excited about him. I feel like Jonathan Johnson and Trey Quinn on the outside looking in, because I mean, why not, especially in a season like this, see what Emmanuel Hall or Cam Sims can bring to the table. The guys with all of the potential, the size, the speed. We already know what we're getting from Trey Quinn. And me personally, I'm not too high on Jonathan Johnson, who we just brought in, undrafted free agent. So I'm personally on the side with give Cam Sims and Emmanuel Hall an honest chance and an honest look at.
Right. Yeah. So Cody Latimer, I mean, we all know what happened with Cody Latimer.
Yeah, free my boy.
Where, he might get off because, we all heard what happened. Shout out Skins Fan all day. Shout out AM Hunter channel members, Brian Harder. Shout out to them. Those are my guys. But, I made a video and I kind of had him out of the equation. I feel like we should go young anyway. I like the young receivers. I like all the young guys we have. Alexander Wilson, thank you for the donation. He says ESPN Football Power Index came out today and it has the Skins finishing with the second worst record. Thoughts? Also, I feel Allen will start at quarterback. So, Street Scores, I'll let you go with that one first. I'll let you answer that one first.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN, nobody really likes us. It seems lately they've actually started liking our drafts, but record-wise, we're always going to be bottom 5 until we prove that we deserve better. So I don't even hurt myself looking at those. And me personally, I feel like Dwayne Haskins will start just off of like, what do we really gain from starting Kyle Allen? Like, are we trying to get cheap and easy, like cheap wins in the beginning and stunt Dwayne Haskins' development just to possibly not even make the playoffs? So I feel like we might as well just roll with the punches, throw him out there early, and let him learn on the fly. Because I mean, you've seen how we've even gotten guys in free agency. We're getting a whole lot of boom or bust guys that it's like we're just gonna throw them out there and see if they work. So I don't even think Ron Rivera is thirsty for wins this season. I definitely feel like his mentality is we're gonna throw people out there, different things. I mean, somebody might start at safety this game, and even if he doesn't play bad, they'll start somebody else at safety the next game. So it's going to be all types of chemistry mix-ups, all types of different formations. I mean, it's just about to be basically a big trial and error. And I just don't see the point of starting Kyle Allen for wins in the beginning of the season when your main focus isn't wins, it's development. So I feel like you might as well just go ahead and throw Dwayne Haskins out there. Same with the other position groups. You might as well throw the younger guys out there like Shondell Hamilton, Cole Holcomb, let them learn on the fly. You may be able to have a veteran like Thomas Davis or John Bostic out there occasionally, but then all you're doing is just stifling the development of the other guys. So I definitely say go young with every position group, in my opinion. And of course, that's Dwayne Haskins with the high potential.
Right. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, I don't see Kyle Allen starting. I mean, only because of the playbook, him knowing the playbook, and him knowing Ron Rivera and Scott Turner. That's like the only advantage he has, and I'm not going to discount that. But after hearing the news that I think mini camp and OTAs is going to start in July. I think it's going to come back in July, and that helps Dwayne Haskins a lot. Because say if mini camp started or training camp started in like August, and they didn't have any OTAs or none of that, then that would really really hurt Haskins, and then Kyle Allen would have the advantage. But I think they're coming back in July. The ranking, ESPN, they always count us out. They call us the R words. They don't even call us the Redskins. They call us the R words. But I think we're gonna surprise some people. I mean, right now I have us at 6-10. But like I said, if everybody stays healthy, like say if Guice stays healthy, Bryce Love comes back, Reuben Foster comes back. It's a lot of ifs.
Man.
If people stay healthy and Chase Young is what we think he's gonna be, and Montez Sweat, get some more sacks because Chase Young's gonna be double teamed, and Haskins develops and gets better. Gandy Golden, I can see us, maybe getting 8 wins and not being the worst. The worst team I think is gonna be the Bengals. It's gonna be the Bengals, Jaguars, and I think the Panthers. They might be one of those bottom 3-4 teams. I feel like the Giants are gonna be bad this year too. So there's a couple teams I think are gonna be worse than us right now.
I'm also a little worried about the Lions too.
You think the Lions are gonna be worse than us?
And yeah, just off of they don't even really trust Matthew Stafford like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, and that coach Matt Patricia, they want him going low key. I can definitely see the right. We played him. I actually had us lose. A lot of people was mad because I had us losing to the Lions, but I got us. I got us beaten. That's like the one. That's the one game where I think we're just gonna fall asleep and lose.
Get the little slip up game. Yeah, there's always those. Yeah,
right. But I got us beating the Eagles. I got to beat us the Cowboys. Beating the Giants once. So I got us winning some good games. And of course, got us losing the Ravens, but we'll talk about the schedule later. So my man's Alex Wilson has another donation. A question. He said Chris Sims has Haskins as his 39th. I did see that. I did just see that on Twitter. He said as his 39th best quarterback in the league going into 2020. He said that he is raw in a lot of areas with Snyder. We will never win. So yeah, I'll let you go. I'll let you go first.
39th. Oh,
39th out of 40 quarterbacks.
So there's seven backups better than Haskins.
Yeah, and I think he's got Joe Burrow over him and some other starters, and like I can't give that list, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, man. I mean I don't even know what to say. Like I don't know how to. If somebody is that down on Haskins, I don't even know how to word Haskins' skill set and potential in a way that can convince them otherwise. Like, it's really nothing you can really say to a Haskins naysayer at this point. It's one of those, like, you see it or you don't type of thing, in my opinion. I don't care how much film you watch, like Chris Sims and them. I mean, I just don't understand how people don't see the unlimited potential arm strength-wise, how he progressed every game after when he was playing in those the Giants game and the Eagles game. Even though it was still only like his 5th game starting, he looked like an NFL quarterback finally, especially once we started running an up-tempo offense, which was something he ran at Ohio State. So like once the offense was finally built around his skill set, he started to prosper. So I honestly don't know how to convince a Haskins naysayer, because we're looking at the same film, but we just see completely opposite things from each like set play. I don't even know how to word it for somebody.
Yeah, I think the unfair thing about Haskins is I always tell everybody judge Dwayne Haskins after the Jay Gruden era, because when he was with Jay Gruden, he threw 4 picks, 0 touchdowns. When Jay Gruden left and Kevin O'Connell took him under his wing and started letting him learn the game and slowed it down for him, sped up that running clock in his head, that's when Haskins played 1,000 times better than what he was doing with Jay Gruden. He was a deer in the headlights, and I think everybody unfairly thinks about the Giants game, thinks about the Vikings game where he came in both games really, really in the second half. First half Giants, but it was really like barely any time left in the first half. So I feel like Haskins is better than a couple guys on that list. I mean, 30. I got to sit down and look at the list. I mean, I guess they'll say Gardner Minshew because he had like 1 or 2 good games, the Minshew mania thing, and so. If they're gonna say Joe Burrow's better than him and like 2 is better than him, that's unfair. That's messed up the Haskins for. So I don't know. Out of 40 quarterbacks, he's 39th. That's kind of hard.
That's
to believe.
insane.
That's really hard to believe.
I don't want to give him too many points off of potential, but it's just that's wild. 40.
Yeah, and somebody said in the chat, yeah, Chris Sims. I remember. I think when we played against Tampa in the playoffs, that's the quarterback we beat. I think if I'm not mistaken, when we beat him in 2005, when Sean Taylor was there, we went down with Joe Gibbs, went to Tampa Bay, we beat him. It was an ugly game.
Mm-hmm.
We beat Tampa in Tampa. I think Chris Sims was the quarterback at that time. We had Mark Brunell and them. On the Warpath, what's up, man? That's my guy. Make sure you guys sub up to his channel. He's a channel member too. He said, yeah. He said Sims is still mad we beat him in the playoffs.
It's just holding on to that salt. I'm so sorry.
Right. So yeah, I wanted to talk about breakout players too. So who are some guys that were that are sleepers on the team or showed a little bit of potential in 2019 that you think are going to break out and have a great season in 2020?
All right, so I kind of have two guys because Jimmy Moreland is more of a I hope he breaks out, but we never got to see enough of him. But one guy I'm really high on that it just seems like a lot of people are not is Sean Hamilton. He's my favorite sleeper on this team. Of course, not out of the rookies because Antonio Gibson is an offensive player. He's a rookie, so he has a lot of potential, but there's nothing to really base off of from the previous season, because he wasn't in the NFL last season. But from what I saw from Sean Hamilton, his coverage ability, he's the quarterback of the defense. I mean, Nick Saban said personally when Sean Hamilton entered the draft, he was sick. He was like, man, I don't know who's going to be the smart guy on the intelligence of the defense, who's going to get everybody in place while I'm on the sideline doing what I have to do. It was basically like he had when you have two kids, you have the older brother and the younger brother. The older brother also helps with the younger brother type of thing. Right. So he was sad when Sean Hamilton left, even when Reuben Foster, Ryan Anderson, and all of them were there. And then his block shedding is I've seen some plays where he literally takes a defensive lineman and moves them out the way to go make a play. I love Sean Hamilton. I'm so excited. And then maybe another one will be Ryan Anderson because after Ryan Kerrigan got hurt, those forced fumbles, I think he tied the league in forced fumbles, and he only started 2-3 games before he ended up getting hurt himself. So we finally saw that second round pick potential that he showed in a 3-game span. It's just whether or not he'll be able to hold it consistently, but he started to actually cover better. He started covering tight ends and looked pretty good at it. So I love him at Sam. I love Sean Hamilton and Mike, and those two guys I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll get to this donation. My man's Alexander Wilson, man. Thank you for donating again, man. That's 3 times tonight. Appreciate that, man. He says until Skins act like the Nats and Caps, where they have synergy through all levels, they won't win. Nats and Caps wouldn't pick a player that their coach wouldn't want. Also, Chris Cooley is sour on Haskins. So, yeah, I'll let you respond to that one first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely understand that. It's definitely a full team-wide thing. You have to have everybody gelling together. Locker rooms do matter. It seems like it shouldn't when you really think about it. Just if you can go out on the field and perform, it shouldn't matter, but it does. Locker rooms, chemistry. That's why I was so glad to hear that Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, and Matt Ioannidis are already hanging out and having dinner together. Things like that matter. Camaraderie matters. For example, there may be a play you're really tired, you're exhausted, but you look to your left and your right, you see Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis putting their all into it, and because of the camaraderie you have with them, you're gonna go 110% on that play just to give it your all, just because you don't want to let your brothers down, type of thing. So a close locker room and chemistry definitely does matter. And so I definitely understand that the Nats and the Caps definitely have a nice bond that the Redskins need to gain. Now, as far as Dan Snyder forcing Jay Gruden to take Dwayne Haskins, I don't count that against this current regime. First of all, because Jay Gruden is gone, but also I feel like Dan Snyder knew, all right, Jay Gruden, the writing's on the wall. You may not be here long term, but I like this quarterback that can be. So I'm taking this quarterback even if you want to or not, because you're pretty much out the door anyway. So I don't feel like Dan Snyder will micromanage and meddle the way that he has in the past. Since this Ron Rivera hiring, he's been doing everything right, in my opinion. Hiring Kevin Wilkes as a medical advisor, whole new training staff, getting Jack Del Rio, Ron Rivera, promoting Kyle Smith in a way. And then he stays out of everything he should stay out of. He lets Ron Rivera and Kyle Smith handle the football stuff. He handles the business side, and it's like a perfect chemistry going. So I'm not too worried about Dan Snyder anymore. It's technically a small sample size with it only being a few months versus the past like 20-something years. But I'm actually pretty optimistic for Dan Snyder's reign lately. And Cooley is sour on Haskins. Oh, Chris Cooley, like the tight end? I didn't even know that. I never heard about that.
Yeah, I heard about that a little bit. I don't listen to his radio show, but I heard it. And Chris Cooley has some weird opinions, like that. Some former Redskins, like D'Angelo Hall, he's been hating on Haskins. I think Clinton Portis doesn't like Haskins, and I love Clinton Portis, but I had to give up on Clinton Portis' opinion after he said we should take Isaiah Simmons at 2. Even though I like Isaiah Simmons, that would have been the worst decision in Redskins history, man. If we would have taken him.
He went 8th for a reason, 7th to 8th for a reason.
Right. I was surprised Simmons went 8. That was probably one of the biggest shockers to me in the whole draft. Mm-hmm. But to get to Alex's question or his statement, Nats and Caps, yeah. I mean, I think like Rico said that, I think I think Kyle Smith is going to be named GM. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I got a feeling it's going to happen pretty soon. Hopefully they do it soon and get it out the way. I think Dan is finally, and I don't know 100%, but I think he's finally learned to step back and just let Ron do his thing and Kyle. And free agency showed us. We did a lot of one-year deals. The only big name that I know we went after was Amari Cooper. So other than that, it's not like.
Thank goodness we didn't get him. Oh, right. I love it, man.
And I heard Ron didn't even really go in for Austin Hooper. Like he heard what Austin Hooper wanted. He was like, "No, I'm not giving you that money." We could have overpaid Robbie Anderson. We could have overpaid Emmanuel Sanders. There's so many guys. James Bradbury, Byron Jones. Like Ron, he's developing the team. He's not really using free agency to rely on free. He wanted to build through the draft. He got guys like Gibson, Gandy Golden. So I feel like the front office is finally, working together. Not like the last guy, Bruce Allen, where he's actually conversating, talking to the players, not alienating them, having ego contests like with the Trent Williams thing and then whatever happened with that. So we got a different regime. I like Kyle Smith. I like what Dan is doing with Kyle and Ron Rivera. We got to see how it plays out. So we got some other donations here. Where is it? My man's AM Henner. He's a channel member. Make sure you guys the link is in the description if you want to become a channel member. All the emojis that you see my man Skins Fan all day putting in there. Dallas sucks and all that. If you guys want to get that, you can go on the link below and sign up for the channel membership. It's real cool. You get different emojis, things like that. Shout out to AM Hunter for the donation. He said, "Fellas, do you think Adrian Peterson will be released or he'll retire? He's real salty about the Trent Williams trade, and I'm happy about the return of hockey. Go Caps." Yeah, Rick, I'll let you go first on that one.
I knew he was disappointed about the Trent Williams situation, but I didn't get the vibe from it like I hate this team now type of thing. I think he's still all in. I mean, like he said, this team is ready to run the table. So I don't feel like he's too upset about it. I think he just would have loved to have his best friend on the team. I mean, that's his guys for many years. I mean, they've been working out in the offseason together, I think even before he became a Redskin. So, of course, you want your best friend on your team with you and stuff like that. But I don't think he was that upset about it. And then, yes, sir, I did hear about the hockey situation, about how they're just going to, when they return, they're just going to go straight into the playoffs, no more regular season, and they're going to add 8 extra teams to make it a little bit more fair, which is really interesting.
Oh, wow. So they're about to start up?
They haven't confirmed a day, but they said basically they're gonna try to do it as soon as possible. And when they do, no more regular season, straight into the playoffs, and it's gonna be 24 teams instead of 16. So basketball might want to consider something like that. It's really weird though. It's really strange, but I don't know. That seems entertaining.
Yeah, it's kind of
like an NCAA bracket.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. So yeah, AM Hunter, to get to your question, do I think AP is gonna be released? I don't think it's gonna be released. I think every year we go through this. Like Jay Gruden want to cut AP, and now people are trying to write AP off. But now AP he's the one reliable back we have. When all else fails and everything goes wrong, Adrian Peterson is there to stiff arm somebody, run over somebody, truck stick somebody. Even though he's 34 or something like that, he finds a way, man. He almost got 1,000 yards last year. Like if Jay Gruden didn't do the healthy scratch, AP would have had 1,000 yards and he would have got his bonus.
Exactly.
So Jay Gruden really messed that man's money up. So Trent Williams, do I think he's salty about Trent? Yeah, I think he's a little upset, but he said we're gonna run the table. So it is what it is. I think they're just really good friends and it sucks what happened. But yeah, that's sir. Go Caps. My man Skins fan all day had a donation. Shout out to my guy Skins fan all day. He's a channel member. Make sure you guys sub up his channel. He's a good guy. He says, y'all already know what I'm gonna say. 11-5 this year. I already talked with Dan Snyder. He said, watch out.
Yes, sir. That's Redskins Nation president right there. He brings everybody together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, he's gonna host a Redskins cookout. I can see it. I can see it happening.
Oh yeah, yes, please.
Quentin Reed said, I hate to say this, but I believe the talent we have at outside linebacker will push Kerrigan onto a different team. Thoughts? Yeah, I'll let you go first, man.
Yeah, because I mean, as an edge rusher, I don't feel like he's gonna get pushed to a different team because him in rotation where he'll be able to stay healthy. I mean, he was consistently healthy throughout his entire career, never missed a game. But then that last season, it was a myriad of injuries. So we're not exactly sure. Maybe it's because of age. He's a little less durable now. Now there's like a chink in the armor, but him coming in as a rotational piece would be great. And I feel like he's not really competing with too many guys because I see him as a 4-3 edge rusher on the line. I definitely don't see him as an outside linebacker as far as like going out and covering people like Ryan Anderson and Thomas Davis and Kevin Pierre-Louis, or even Josh Harvey Clemens, maybe or Khaleke Hudson. I definitely see him more so in the group with Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and then Ryan Kerrigan I have third. And then if we keep only 4, then you have Nate Orchard, James Smith-Williams, and Jordan Brailford competing for that last spot. If I had to pick one between the 3, I think I'd go with Nate Orchard. Or, I don't know. That's really tough, though, because James Smith-Williams has a lot of potential. He's just injury-prone. But I definitely, nevertheless, I see Ryan Kerrigan making the team as an edge rusher, as a rotational piece to keep everybody fully healthy, stamina going, fresh all game, all of that type of stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think they're going to keep Ryan Kerrigan. I think if Dan puts his hand on anything, it would be Ryan Kerrigan. He's not letting Ryan Kerrigan go. Now, I hope they restructure his deal because it is $11.5 million, which is a good amount of money for a guy who I don't know if he's going to start. I think he is going to start, but you got Sweat, you got Chase Young. So it is a good amount of money for that guy, But I think Kerrigan's going to play, and he might start day one. There's a good chance of him starting day one. Now, if we do trade him, then I don't think we'll get more than maybe like a 4th or a 5th since he is older. So I think we missed our chance. If we were going to trade him, it probably should have been last year at the trade deadline. I think we were like 1-7 at the trade deadline. I might be wrong, but we had like a really bad record. It was time to just clean house at that time. But I think Ryan Kerrigan is going to be on the roster to start off. My man Isaac Blue, he said, "Go Birds." He's a funny guy. He's a real funny guy. Let's see here. Somebody else. My man's Pedro with the donation. Shout out to Pedro. Make sure you guys sub up his channel. He said, "Thanks for having me on the channel last week, HCTR." Make sure you guys sub him up. I'm going to definitely have my guy Pedro back on, man. He's a great guy. He's really, really coming up. He got 2,000 subs right now. Let's see. Somebody else had a really good question here. Let's see here. 30121 says Skin's going to surprise a lot of people. Let's see here. Well, that would definitely be worth it. Somebody else had a good question. I'm trying to find it. But let's see. So yeah, the breakout players. Yeah, I got Steve Sims being my breakout guy. That's the guy. Yeah. Okay, so Clinton Ralph said, "Who are our starting corners? Who do you think is going to be starting at corner?"
Whew. I'm not sure because Kendall Fuller, in my opinion, is better in the slot than he is at outside or safety. I mean, you can see when the Chiefs kept forcing him at outside corner, it didn't look too pretty. But at the same time, we're paying him $10 million a year. So it's weird for him to only come in on like maybe a third of defensive snaps just to play slot corner. So he may be forced into the outside corner starting spot, depending on what's going on, maybe, I guess. But I don't know. It's tough because Jimmy Moreland is my favorite corner of the group, potential-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But Ronald Darby, when healthy, is actually really good, especially within like 20 yards of the line of scrimmage. Because even when he was at his best, he was still getting burnt. But with our pass rush, him only having to defend like the first 20, 30 yards, he could actually be a really good corner. I mean, he played like a Pro Bowl level on that championship run the Eagles had a couple of years ago. And then you have Fabian Moreau, who hasn't had an entire offseason at his real position, which is outside corner. Because after we traded away Kendall Fuller, we forced Fabian Moreau into the slot corner position, even though he was never built to play slot corner. Coming out of UCLA, he was always a press man corner. I compared him to Xavier Rhodes' style of play. Press man, line of scrimmage, outside, love to cover bigger receivers. And then we just forced him in to cover the small, shifty guys. And, of course, he got burnt a lot. Yeah. And so with him having a full off season after what we saw spots where he looked great because he was still getting burnt, even the good games he had last season. He still looked confused out there a little bit. But I feel like with a full off season, especially under Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, I feel like Fabian Moreau can emerge as one of our better corners. But as far as starters, I don't know. I mean, it's really like a roll of the dice right now for me. I'm sorry. I really don't. Maybe they might start whoever they're paying the most, just in order of whoever's making the most money. I don't know.
Right. And a lot of people not making because Darby's getting $4 million a year. I can't wait. Jimmy's on a rookie contract. He's a 7th-round pick, so I know he's not getting a lot of money. I mean, Kendall is getting the most because he's getting $10 million. Yeah. He's really the best at slot. But for me, it would be Kendall in the slot. I think Ronald Darby's going to start because I think he's just better than anybody else. Really, I think Fabian is going to start on the other side, and then Jimmy's going to be a rotational outside guy, and then Aaron Colvin, he's a backup at best. Greg Stroman's on the roster. He's a backup at best. A lot of people are kind of high on him, but he's been injury prone. And Danny Johnson might be on the roster, but yeah, the secondary is our toughest spot. That's why I think a lot of people really want Jalen Ramsey, not only because Jalen is a beast, but because corner probably is one of our weaker. It is our weaker positions. I can't lie about that one. My man Alex Wilson, another donation. He says secondary is a major weakness.
Understatement.
Yeah. But that gives me another question. Which do you think is the weakest position? Do you think it's tight end or corner or would you throw left tackle in there? How do you feel about which one is the most position in need right now?
It's weird because I feel like day one tackle is going to be really rough, but I love Sadiq Charles's potential. And I feel like maybe by like week 6 and when he's in the flow of things, I feel like he's going to be a really good tackle. And then I don't believe Morgan Moses is just the worst thing doing it at right tackle, but when in doubt, I really like Cornelius Lucas at right tackle. So I feel like our tackle position to start the season will be rough. But I feel like throughout the season, it may get better. Now, the tight end position and the cornerback position, especially the cornerback group with all of the injuries and everything, I'm a little worried about that. It's really hard to pick. If I had to pick, I think I'll probably go corner because I really like Thaddeus Moss. Because Thaddeus Moss isn't an explosive athlete, of course. He's not about to just be out here juking DBs out their socks. But for what we need him to do, which is block consistently, which we didn't get from Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis, and to have great hands, which is what we never got from Jeremy Sprinkle, and just be a red zone threat. All we need him to do is just be a red zone threat and a chain mover on third down. We don't need him out here, running complex routes. That's what Terry McLaurin, Steven Sims, AGG, Kelvin Harmon are for. I feel like he'll be open a lot underneath with the wide receiver group distracting everybody. So I love Thaddeus Moss. I like the potential of Hell Hinges. Logan Thomas is extremely athletic. I mean, he's very raw. Used to be a quarterback, but he killed us when we played him. When we went against the Lions, he killed us. I still haven't forgiven him for that hit he put on Ryan Kerrigan. Yeah. I won't forgive him for that until he brings up like 30 touchdowns or whatever. But there's potential in the tight end room. There's also potential in the cornerback room, but it's like the wide receiver group can mask a lot of the weaknesses we have for the tight end group. They're going to be a great distraction. Right. The pass rush can help the DB group a lot, but it's not going to be consistent. There's going to be times where Fabian Moreau, Ronald Darby, Kendall Fuller are going to have to cover people for more than like 5 seconds. And you know what I'm saying? We just have to hope they can hold up type of thing. So for me, I feel like cornerback position is the weakest. There's a lot of potential, but boy, I mean, there's gonna be some moments they get exposed. We just have to accept it.
Yeah, it is gonna be tough. I mean, the Cowboys upgraded a little bit. They still gonna fold. They still gonna choke at the end. We do play Odell and them boys. We do play Jarvis this year. We do play Larry Fitzgerald and DeAndre Hopkins. I think the second game of the season. So it's gonna be a test to start on the season, and we do play D-Jax. I see another Eagles fan shouting out D-Jax. But I got us beating the Eagles week 1. But those are going to be some tough tests. My man Chris Zacharias, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate you. He said, hail to the Redskins, stay healthy, W and Wise. Let's kick some ass with the @ sign. Thank you for the donation. Somebody else donated. Let's see here. XSD Xerect. Would you rather use our $75 million next year to get a big name like Ramsey or go after more cheap prove-it deals and award our own players?
So me personally, well, first of all, I feel like we may end up having 100 million because right now it's projected we have 88 million, but then we're definitely not keeping Alex Smith next season. So we'll have over 100 million. So me personally, I feel like we have enough money to do both. I mean, I haven't exactly examined whose contracts are ending after this season. I mean, Ryan Kerrigan, but if we re-sign him, it's probably going to be a very cheap deal. And then we need to extend Brandon Sheriff. Other than that, I don't think we have any big-time contracts we need to put out there that we definitely need to just throw money at. I mean, I would like to reward our players mightily, but $100 million, you can do a lot with that. I mean, we're going to have top 3 cap space. I feel like we can definitely accomplish both. I don't feel like it's an either-or thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith coming off the books is huge. Ryan Kerrigan, $11.5 million coming off the books. And other than that, Landon Collins is on the team for a little while. So those are only guys I see that would create cap. And that's a good amount of cap space, don't get me wrong. So, I mean, 75 mil or 100 mil, whatever we have. And then Trent Williams freed up space too. So I'm loving the cap space for next year. Now, I mean, George Kittle's a free agent. I don't think he'll be available. Hunter Henry, I saw in one of your videos you said Hunter Henry. And then there's like a left tackle, maybe from the Packers. I think you said we could get.
Oh, David Bakhtiari,
yeah. So somebody like that. That's if Sadiq doesn't work out, but I believe in Sadiq. I really do. I want to give him some time to develop. So, and then of course, Jalen Ramsey, which is everybody's and he's the new Stephon Diggs. He really is.
Basically,
he's the new Stephon Diggs. Everybody's in love with Jalen, and everybody's waiting. I think people are waiting more in the offseason right now than the freaking season coming up. That's how people are hyped for Ramsey right now.
I've been seeing people talk about franchise tags, but teams don't do that very often. I feel like at least a few of these guys are going to slip through the cracks. Now, maybe Jalen Ramsey, because they gave up first-round picks and all of that to get him, he'll end up being possibly franchise tagged, but I mean, I don't think every player is going to be franchise tagged. I mean, us going through that franchise tag Kirk Cousins thing was like unheard of. Like teams just don't normally even use their basis. Not worried about everybody in franchise tag. I think we can definitely snag some really good names out there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we see what's going on with Dallas. I feel like the Dak Prescott thing, I think it's going to end real ugly. I got a feeling it's going to end real ugly. Yeah, I think it's going to be another Kirk situation. I really do. I feel like if they go take like 8-8 again, like they did last year, which I could definitely see happening because they didn't really improve their defense, in my opinion. I feel like, they can get cut up defensively. They can go 8-8 again. And then the next thing they might do that tag again. So we'll see. They did get Dalton, but you just never know. So my man,
I hope they pay him $60 million a year and take up all the cap space. That's what I'm rooting for.
For real. Varius Mapadas, thank you for the donation. He said Dwayne is going to shock the league. His work ethic this offseason has been accepted. That is a question I wanted to ask you about. So yeah, I'll let you go first on that statement.
I love it. I mean, he lost like 7% body fat. I think he's lost somewhere in the teens worth of pounds. I think like 12 to 15 pounds. I mean, he looks different and he's losing weight, but he's not going to be less durable because now he's adding more. He's taking away fat, adding muscle. So he's going to be more durable. He's going to be more mobile. Like that one game with, I forgot who we went against, where he was running the RPO and they weren't expecting it. He was actually picking up first down. Yeah, I definitely can see us doing that a little bit more. Not a lot. We don't want to spam it because you don't want to risk your franchise quarterback getting hurt, but he'll definitely have the mobility to make things happen in the pocket, especially with this, this offensive line that may be a little sketchy in the beginning, but I feel like this offensive line actually has a lot of potential. So I see him being great behind it. And then, I mean, we can only assume that he's putting in the time for the playbook. We don't know for sure, but Ron Rivera said they meet every day, every weekday for like a couple of hours every day. And then he's also been working out with Terry McLaurin and Kelvin Harmon for months now. And then Steven Sims and Antonio Gandy-Golden said they're going to join them soon. And they work out almost every day of the week. So he's building chemistry with his wide receivers. He's working on his physique, his mobility, his durability. And according to Ron Rivera, they meet every day, like on like some type of conference call and like talk football, offense, and with Scott Turner and everything, talking the playbook. So it's not like he's just at home doing nothing mentally. So it's easy to see the physical part with all the pictures of him looking different, but I'm assuming that he's putting in the work into the playbook also, which is what matters most.
Right. Yeah, and I like how you brought up Gandy-Golden too about the workout, because the crazy thing, they say he had the virus and he recovered, so that's crazy. But I love that Haskins lost the weight. And I remember when he first got drafted, he said, "Y'all, the league done messed up," and he was a little chubby, I mean, everybody say he was like Big Ben, and we all know Big Ben is a big guy. But I think this is really going to help Haskins. I'm not saying Haskins is going to be a scrambling, running quarterback, but like you said, with that read option, we can do that maybe once every other game and surprise some teams, because everybody think Haskins is slow. Next thing you know, he breaks out a read option. That might be a 15, 20-yard run, and that can really help us win some games. And Ron, he likes his quarterbacks to run. Not everybody's like Cam Newton, but I think that can really help with Dwayne Haskins' mobility in the pocket. And it just shows that he's working hard. He's not a lazy guy. He's working hard. He's getting in his home gym out there, throwing the ball to McLaurin, throwing to Kelvin Harmon. I've seen that. So I've seen him throw the ball to Sprinkle a couple of times in his Instagram workout.
Did he catch it? Was it caught?
Man, hey, Sprinkle's almost getting as bad as Josh Doxson. That's how bad Sprinkle's getting. Like,
I think it was so bad for Sprinkle too, because it would be on plays that Dwayne Haskins dodged one sack, dodged another, scrambled to the right on the run, easy catch to the chest, drop. I think it was like more dramatic. Come on, man, type of drops. It was
Nah, for real. Like, because it was the Panthers game. I remember that one. I really do. Haskins broke out, dodged a couple of guys, went outside the pocket, threw a nice pass to Sprinkle. Sprinkle rolled on the floor. Then the ball popped. I was like, bruh. Dwayne Haskins was like this. He was just looking. I was like, are you kidding me, dog? Like, these are the guys that Dwayne has to throw to, so it's hard for Dwayne, We don't have the best tight ends out there. We got a young receiving crew that is young. Our best receiver is a second-year guy. Steve Sims, second-year guy. Kelvin Harmon, second-year guy. AGG is a rookie, and then the guy Cody Latimer, we don't even know what's going to happen with him. Even before he got arrested, he really wasn't all that. His best season was like, I think, 300 yards or something like that. So Haskins doesn't have the greatest supporting cast. I think it's good enough to help him out, but it's definitely not how, when Dak Prescott came, he had Zeke and Des Bryant and all them guys. So, Haskins, he does have an uphill battle. But I think he's going to be, as long as he puts the work in and keeps losing weight, he doesn't have to lose a whole bunch of weight, but just keep putting the work in, learn the playbook, and I think it should be A-okay. Chill Dude with the donation, he said, we are winning 6 or 7 games. Going to be competitive in most games, heading in the right direction. Do you guys agree? Are we overpaying Landon Collins? Hail to the Redskins.
I'm definitely somewhere in that range, 6, 7, or 8. We have a lot of talent. We've always had talent, but we didn't have the coaches. Now we have the coaches and we have more talent. But like I said earlier, it's about to be a big trial run, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like they might start Sean Davis at free safety one game, even if he has a good game, maybe 3 games later, start somebody else just to try to see. I feel like we're about to literally have position battles like training camp throughout the year in a lot of different ways, and just throwing people out there to see how they do in certain situations, so that like we can do our homework now and in 2021 and beyond be ready to like really take over the league type of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just have random losses where it looks like we could have easily have won that game if we would have just stayed consistent. I mean, because Scott Turner has to learn how to call his offense. I mean, he has to develop his offense. And then, like, there's a chemistry to calling plays. Like, in 3rd and 6, what do I call here? What personnel do I use? And stuff like that. So there's going to be, like, minor chemistry issues and stuff like that to take over. So I definitely see us losing games to teams that were more talented than. And then Landon Collins, that contract is a little ugly. But, I mean, well, until coronavirus happened, the salary cap always goes up and up. And like within 2 years, Landon Collins' contract was going to look like a bargain deal anyway. And plus, I feel like under Jack Del Rio, he's going to earn it. He's basically going to use him like how he used TJ Ward in Denver. But I feel like Landon Collins is even more talented. Jack Del Rio is going to put him in the best positions to succeed. He's not just going to be at free safety, covering single high for no reason like Greg Minuski had him out in coverage, covering everybody. That's not his strong suit. That's not his skill set. He's best in the box. I believe he led our team in tackles last season. I'm expecting him to be even better than that this season under Jack Del Rio. So it's hard to say he'll earn that much money worth of a contract production wise, because that is a lot of money. But I feel like how he'll play in the future under Jack Del Rio will lessen the blow a little bit. And plus, like I said, salary cap keeps going up. Eventually, there's going to be like 12 safeties in the league that's getting paid more than him.
Right. He said we are winning 6 or 7 games. I got a 6-10 just right now. I got us going 6-10, and we might get another free agent. We might get another corner, maybe like a Dequez Denard or somebody like that. You know, who knows? We might even possibly get Jason Peters, a left tackle, to help out Sadiq. I think that will help. But 6 or 7 games might be right. I think 2021 is the year where we just make that leap. I think Dwayne's going to get better. The receivers will get better. Chase Young, Montez with that year under their belt, and we add another corner to the mix. You know, maybe it could be Jalen Ramsey. Who knows? But yeah, I think 6 or 7 is about right. And it takes time to go from 3-13. Not everybody goes like the Niners is 3-13 and becomes 12-4 the next year. So it is going to take some time. And but we are definitely in the right direction. I agree with that. Are we overpaying Landon Collins? I wouldn't say you can kind of argue it, because I know last year the top 100 safeties, you know, he didn't even make the top 100. And in the whole top 100 thing, I was reading something. It's about I think the new top 100 is about to come out for 2019, and Landon didn't make it last year, but Landon played well last year. We just weren't a good team. So I think we overpaid him. I wouldn't say that, because the way the contract was set up, you got to look at the guaranteed money. It wasn't like an Albert Hainsworth where the majority of the money was guaranteed, or you know, something like that. So I don't really think we overpaid for Landon Collins, and we're still in a good spot money wise. We can still add to the defense, so I don't think we overpaid him that bad. I don't think we did. Oscar Josue Montel, that's my guy. He's another channel member. Shout out to him. Once again, if you want to become a channel member, the link is in the description. You get cool emojis, badges, things like that. Thank you for the donation. DMV Sports Zone. That's my guy. Make sure you guys sub to him. He just started his YouTube. He's a good guy. A big Redskins fan. We did talk about this already. Do I think we can get Jalen Ramsey next offseason? Yeah, Rico, I'll let you go first.
I actually truly believe we have a chance. I definitely feel like we have more of a chance than other people are giving us credit for. Because I mean, with the new regime, Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio being strong defensive-minded coaches. I mean, Jack Del Rio took I think the 31st ranked Broncos defense and turned them into the 2nd ranked Broncos defense within a year. You have to respect that. So on our side of things, new culture, new coaches, a lot of talent. I mean, who wouldn't want to play behind Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis, and Deron Payne, and even Tim Settle? I mean, like it would make you look better. I mean, he'll be able to play more aggressive because the pass rush is more consistent and potent, and so he'll be able to get more interceptions. I mean, he'll just look like a better corner. He'll get to talk more trash and all of that. So I feel like, and then that's on our side, and then on the Rams side, I feel like I mean, I wouldn't say like a steep decline, but I definitely don't think they're about to go back to the Super Bowl like they recently did again, anytime like really soon. They have a lot of cap space struggle situations going on. They have to pay people, and I think they're going to be struggling. I think they may even end up having to franchise tag them to keep them. And then on the other hand, we're about to have top 3 cap space next season. So even just beyond Jalen Ramsey, we can just go up to free agents and be like, hey, man, your previous team or your current team can't pay you as much as we can. So if you want to make the most money you can, and health is never promised, so go ahead and get the bag when you can, just come with us. And like I said, we're an emerging team. We're definitely on the rise. But if you only talk money, I feel like we talk the best money right now, especially 2021.
Right. Yeah, I think we could get him. You just gotta throw the money at him. I just want to see how we are. If we are close, like say we go like 7-9 or something like that, then yeah, I probably would make the move. Melqui Jimenez, thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate you, man. He said, my 2 favorite YouTubers, happy to see the collab. Ramsey just said his agent and him are on the same page with the Rams on a contract extension. Eureka, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I didn't even know that. So I guess happened. I'm rooting against it, but I'm not surprised because the Rams spent so much draft capital to get him, and it would just be crazy for them to let him go. And I feel like when in doubt, they may just end up franchise tagging him. But when they pay him, they won't be able to pay a lot of other people, so that's going to be a little dark. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, everything is talk. You always have to take any information you get with a grain of salt until basically Adam Schefter says it. So we'll see. I'm holding out hope. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, it's all speculation. It's like I said, he is the new Redskins Stephon Diggs. And it's something you just gotta wait and see. I'm not getting my hopes up at all. My hopes and optimism on it happening is 0 right now until we get to 2021, which is
out of sight, out of mind. Just don't even think.
Right. So Alex Smith has made a guest appearance here. Spoiler alert. He said, I'm coming to play quarterback. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see that. I want to see that. Alex Smith is in the building. Somebody else had a good question. They said if Cody Latimer is out of the equation, would you look at a free agent receiver? I know they did. Somebody in the comments said Demaryius Thomas and Percy Harvin because he just came out of retirement.
Oh yeah.
And then Josh Gordon is filing for a reinstatement. So what do you think about those guys? Would you take a swing at them to mentor the rookie, the second year? I think the oldest receiver we have is like 24 or something like that. So
yeah,
would you looking to add, one of those guys, or would you just trust and stay with the young guys we got?
First of all, just off topic, since I'm thinking about it, I would like to go get Eric Berry because he said he's trying to make a comeback too, just to bring him in. He's probably really cheap. But back to the receivers. I'm down. I'm one of those guys that, give him a chance. You never know what you're going to get because Josh Gordon at one time was a top 5 receiver easily in the league back when he was with the Browns. I mean, he was carrying all types of quarterbacks to making their stats look good, even though they weren't that good. He was making so many guys look good out there, just single-handedly too. So I would love to give Josh Gordon a chance. If I had to pick between those 3, between Demaryius Thomas, who was he's been injury prone the past couple of years, and even during the Peyton Manning era, like right afterwards, he was looking a little sloppy, and that was a few years ago. So I would cancel him out, and it would be between Percy Harvin and Josh Gordon. But Percy Harvin's been out the game so long, I would have to see him to know if this is anything to be taken seriously. And for me, I give Josh Gordon a chance, man. I mean, his only problem supposedly is weed, and now the NFL doesn't care about it anymore. So what could he get in trouble with? I mean, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but like, I feel like, especially under Ron Rivera is not only a disciplinarian, but he also is like a people's coach type of guy. I forgot which receiver it was, but somebody like died in his family.
Hey,
and like Ron Rivera had like you said who?
Devin Funches.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah. And then Ron Rivera had like a real sit down with them, like not just a coach to player. Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. You know, he was actually like really listening and speaking to him. So I feel like if there is a coach out there that's the perfect combination of slightly players coach, but a huge disciplinarian, and that I feel like that would be a good mix for Josh Gordon, and that's who Ron Rivera is.
Yeah, somebody in the comments said Josh Gordon's still in the contract with the Seahawks. I don't. If that, I mean, you might be. They might be right. I don't know if he is or not. I think teams only really sign him to like a 1-year deal. I don't know the Browns contract that he was on, but Josh Gordon, it is a tough one. It is a tough one because I mean, like you said, they're not really testing for reefer like that, and we know allegedly Sadiq was busted for reefer and whatnot with LSU. It's really not like a big thing in the NFL anymore. So Josh Gordon. It probably had to be like a 1-year deal, 1-year proven deal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you do anything crazy, then he's got to get an Antonio Brown deal. Like if you do anything off the wall, then you're done.
Yeah, you might just go ahead and burn the contract. You might.
Percy Harvin, he's interesting. You know, he hasn't played in a while, so I probably wouldn't pick him up because I know Antonio Gibson. His like comparison is Percy Harvin. Like that mix with that wide receiver, running back type of mix where you hit home runs. And then the other guy, Demaryius Thomas, I was looking at his stats. He's not bad, but I was looking. I think Calvin Harmon and what's his name? Demaryius Thomas had like similar stats. So I was like, I might just go with the young guy. Yeah, that's what I think. I think we might just go with the young guys, but maybe Demaryius Thomas if anybody. But I'll probably just stay with the young guys right now. Yeah, Protect. Shout out Protect Sports. He said Demaryius Thomas is old as dirt. Yeah. And Zamik said I'm interested in seeing how Cam Sims and AGG play this year. I don't see the need to spend. How do you feel about Cam Sims? Do you think this is his last shot at ever really getting playing time, or how do you feel about Cam Sims? Do you think he can make the roster?
I hope so. I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure Ron Rivera really like. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't know he exists, but like, is he actually on Ron Rivera's radar to even begin with? Because Ron Rivera said he started like really watching our film after we played the Panthers or whatever. I think he went back to the Jets film somewhere like that. But like Cam Sims hasn't played. I think I remember having one catch within that span of I think the Jets till the end of the season. So I'm hoping Cam Sims is on Ron Rivera's radar, but I say his chances are slim. I feel like Emmanuel Hall may have a better chance just because we brought him in to the practice squad, and Ron Rivera may actually get a really good look at him. He was like a recent pickup, like right before the end of the season. And he may look at some Cam Sims preseason tape and be like, yeah, your time has passed, and let's give Emmanuel Hall more of a shot. But I hope he likes Cam Sims and Emmanuel Hall more than the Trey Quinns, me personally. But who knows? Because I honestly don't know if Cam Sims is even on Ron Rivera's radar. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, Cam Sims. I know Cam Sims had a fan club at one time. I think he still has like a big fan club. A lot of people still love Cam Sims. I know he messed up in that Ravens game where he dropped like 2 passes, and next thing you know, Steve Sims just came out of nowhere. He took his spot. Like that was the writing on the wall for Cam Sims. Now this year, I think you're right. I think Ron hasn't really looked at Cam Sims at all. But the whole Cody Latimer thing has given Cam Sims like it actually has given Trey Quinn like a better chance. I still don't think he's gonna make the team, but it has given those guys like a little bit better chance to make the roster. So I mean, Emmanuel Hall, he could possibly make the roster. You never know. I mean, the guy is just like super fast, so you just never know. Of course, somebody brought up DJ Swearinger. Yeah, you got to talk about DJ Swearinger in the Redskins video. His name is always DJ Swearinger. His name's going to come up for the next 10 years. We just can't let that one go. 1,000 subs with no videos challenge. Rico, I'll let you take that one too.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because he's only getting older. And the main problem he had with the previous regime and why he spoke out against them and ended up getting released because of it was because we didn't practice hard enough. The team wasn't disciplined enough. And he would thrive in a Ron Rivera practice system. Now, on the field wise, game wise, I don't know when he would play. I guess he would be reduced to a backup, maybe behind, because Sean Davis is definitely faster, so he's more of a free safety. Landon Collins is better in the box, so he's more of a strong safety. DJ Swearinger is just kind of pretty good at both, but I prefer to have the guy that's a true free safety and the guy that's a true strong safety out there rather than have the DJ Swearinger as a tweener. Now, him as a backup would be excellent because if one of the guys gets hurt, then you can just plug him in at either one and be okay. But like I said, I mean, this Ron Rivera new era, the culture, how hard we're gonna practice, how much people are gonna care. He's not like a player's player; he's more of a disciplinarian. DJ Swearinger would have nothing to speak out about, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it could work, but he's only getting older. And I never really loved him to begin with, but him as a backup, if he's willing to humble himself and take a backup role, I'm down for cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. He is getting old, so I don't think they're going to go that route. And you know, Ron ain't playing that. What he said about Jake Graham. I don't think he'll speak out about, you know, because Greg Minuski was the worst defensive coordinator I think we've ever had. Joey Barry was bad too, but yeah, I think Greg was probably the worst of the worst. Let's see here. Somebody else had a good question. Jermaine Curse. No, I don't think we'll go after Jermaine Curse. CJ Shoots photo said we need a left tackle so bad. Any chance a post June 1st cut comes available?
Boy, I'm not sure. I mean, you never know though, because that guard from the Saints that made the last 3 Pro Bowls, I can't remember his name, but he ended up being a casualty cut because they re-signed Jameis and gave the guy that plays quarterback, Taysom Hill, they gave him more money. So even though they wanted to keep the guard, he was just a cap casualty. They had to release him because they literally just didn't have any cap space left. So, you know, never know. I mean, I would have to look at other teams and other team contracts to give you like a really good answer on that. But there's definitely a chance. Crazier things have happened. I mean, we signed Josh Norman well after the draft. And even though looking back, that wasn't that great, but like that was a huge signing back then. Like to be able to get him, especially at the time of year we got him.
Right. Yeah, I see some people saying DJ Swearinger was better than Landon Collins. As a motivator, yeah, I think as a team captain, because DJ did get the team hyped. And I hate to talk about DJ so much, but he did get the team hyped. Though I'm not gonna lie, when he truck stick when he hit stick Marshawn Lynch in like 2018, when we were 6-3, DJ was the hype man. He did the whole.
He was the spirit, thing.
Yeah. I get what y'all saying. DJ definitely did get him hyped. Landon's more of a chill guy. He's not like a rah kind of guy. Like Landon's not going to get you hype. I don't know him personally. He might, but Landon, listen to DJ Swearinger. He did get you ready. He made me want to put some pads on when I heard DJ Swearinger talk. Redskins Weekly said, "What about Delanie Walker? Would you make a move for him?"
Nah, me personally, I'm good. I feel like just let the young guys go out there and figure it out. Because I mean, he's older, he's injury prone. He would literally just be like on the sideline coaching them up. And at that point, you might as well just hire a tight ends coach. And like an extra tight ends coach, because we already have the guy from Carolina. So, right. And then we already brought in Richard Rodgers to basically be that veteran role who's also injury prone. We don't really need 2 of them, in my opinion. I wanted Delanie Walker at the beginning of free agency, but then after we signed Richard Rodgers, Logan Thomas, and now we just drafted Thaddeus Moss, I'm pretty straight on it, honestly.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. He's old. I don't know if it was an ACL. He had some kind of leg injury. He was on IR, like you said, last year. He's been nicked up and injured. So I wouldn't go that route either. He's 36. I think we're just going to stick with the guys that we have. Did I? I don't think I asked you about the tight end. What 3 tight ends you think? You think it's gonna be 3 or 4? Who you got making a roster?
First of all, I really hope we get that expanded roster size soon. I keep seeing people saying we are this 53, 55, 57, but I haven't seen like an official statement from the NFL yet. So I'm just going to assume 53. I feel like we may just keep 3. I gotta go. I guess it would be best to look up what Ron Rivera did when he was head coach, how many tight ends they kept. But it makes the most sense to just keep 3. And if I had to pick, I'm definitely going Thaddeus Moss. He's going to be like an H-back type of guy. You know, he's going to be like the Chris Cooley role where he'll come in at fullback occasionally, but I feel like he'll play more tight end like easily. I think it's not even going to really be close as far as tight end fullback, but he will be more of a fullback occasionally, kind of to fill the role that Ryan Anderson was filling for us for some weird reason, even though it kind of was working. And then I like Hale Hinges' potential. I mean, he had a couple of drops, but I liked what I saw from him those last 2 games. And Kevin O'Connell basically used him how I expect Scott Turner to use him. He's not a burner. He's not a true separator, but he was open a lot because the other receivers were distracting the defense. So I'm expecting Thaddeus Moss to be used like that, Hale Hinges to be used like that. And then I'm definitely keeping Logan Thomas just from potential. I mean, this 2020 is a big trial and error season. Why not give the guy with the freakish athleticism, with all of the potential in the world, a chance to see what he can do? Because, again, he killed us when he played. I think he had 2 touchdowns against us last season. Let's see if we can get that out of him consistently.
Yeah, I do. I'm starting. At first, I didn't like the Logan Thomas signing, but now I've warmed up to it. I think he's probably got – I think Thad probably has the most potential, but Logan is super athletic. Like if you watch some of his highlights, he's super athletic. He can move. He can break tackles. He's still learning the position. So if I had to like predict stats for him, I'd probably go with like 35, 40 catches, maybe like 600 yards, and that's not bad. That's better than what we really think we're getting out of the tight end position this year. So and maybe like 4 touchdowns. So that actually would be a good season for Logan. You know, that's way better than what he's done. I think the most receiving yards he had in the season is like 100 or something like that. So for him getting like 500 yards in the season, that'd be great. Richard Rodgers is injury prone. I think his dad is like a secondary coach. I got him getting cut. Sprinkle. Honestly, I probably would. I wouldn't mind cutting Sprinkle. I would just keep Hale. I would keep Thaddeus Moss, and I would keep Logan Thomas. Those are the 3 guys I would keep.
Yeah,
for real.
Agreed.
Somebody, I see y'all bringing up Trey Quinn in the chat. Let's see here. Malik Taylor said Trey Quinn is a better all-around wide receiver than Emmanuel Hall or Cam Sims as far as route running hands. Cam Sims will get cut. What do you think about that statement?
I personally disagree because the hands was the biggest problem we had with him. If we threw him a route like in the middle of the field, he would have those little drops where you could tell he's nervous about getting hit. Now, maybe he can overcome that. And the Redskins liked him on special teams as long as he wasn't getting hurt, even though I don't want him returning. Maybe he can do special teams coverage or something. But I personally disagree. I mean, his route running is nice, but, I mean, that's who he is. He's not really fast. He's not explosive. He's a good route runner, slot receiver, small guy. So he's definitely a better route runner than Emmanuel Hall and Cam Sims. But with Cam Sims and Emmanuel Hall's potential, most notably Emmanuel Hall with his, I mean, how tall he is, and he still runs like a 4.5. I think he's like 6'3" or 4, runs a 4.5 or something. I'm definitely just willing to just go with that guy, see what we can get out of him, rather than taking the Trey Quinn that we already know. I mean, Trey Quinn is cool, but along with being injury prone, I'm good on Trey Quinn, me personally. It's just those concentration drops that gets me the most. He was scared to catch anything over the middle of the field, and that was truly bothering me.
Right. Shout out to Big Simple 422. That's my guy. Make sure you guys sub him up. He's a Redskins YouTuber as well. Somebody, Rico Proctor said, any surprise cuts?
I've been asked that too, and it's hard for me to answer because, like, it's hard to define a surprise cut because, like, every time I try to name somebody, they're like, "Oh yeah, I mean," but they're very likely to get cut. So I don't know. I mean, maybe we might catch people off guard with I don't know, like maybe an offensive line, like maybe Morgan Moses. I don't know. I honestly I don't. That's a really hard question. Like I've been thinking about that for like 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, I see some people saying Adrian Peterson, John Bostic. I don't think Adrian Peterson going to cut. John Bostic, maybe. I know they just signed him to an extension, but yeah, I could see maybe like Kevin Pierre-Louis steps up and Kaliki Hudson and all those guys, because it is real crowded. It's a lot of linebackers, so I could see and like Reuben Foster comes back, is healthy. I could definitely see maybe John Bostic. They might be right about that one, but Bostic played well last year. I kind of like Bostic a little bit. Somebody else had a good question. Oh, yeah, Kobe 824. Rest in peace, Kobe. He said, we don't talk about the offensive line enough. We all got to start in the left tackle.
Whew, I mean, day one. I don't know. Because I love Sadiq Charles. His talent is immense. He can be a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle, but his hands, technique and all of that, he needs to build strength. I mean, that's going to take some time, especially with this limited offseason. Him starting week one may be a little ugly. That's why it would be so nice for us to be able to bring in somebody like a Jason Peters to start and be our bridge quarterback just for a second, while Sadiq Charles catches up to the NFL speed and gains NFL level strength and hand technique, because his footwork is already great. I mean, he's extremely mobile. If we run an offense that caters to his skill set, to where we're always spreading the defense out, it's a fast-paced offense, then he should be great week one. But if we're going to run the ball a lot and try to be the aggressive team and just run the ball down people's throats, we can't depend on him to be a consistent tackle yet. Eventually we will. By 2021, I feel like he's going to be a really good tackle to great tackle. But for now, I don't know, man. That the offensive line is very questionable going into week one.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, I could see them maybe bringing in Jason Peters, but the only thing is he had the same agent as Trent Williams, so it's like it's hard with that one. And,
that man don't even pick up area code phone numbers from DC,
right.
man.
Yeah, 202-757-301.
Block.
Right. And Donald Penn, they might bring him in. He actually wasn't terrible. He was serviceable. He was okay. He wasn't awful. He was all right. If they bring back Donald Penn to mentor Sadiq, I wouldn't be mad at that. Cornelius Lucas, he's a swing tackle, so we'll see. But I think I got Sadiq starting day one. If they bring back Donald Penn, he'll start. If not, then Sadiq. I got Sadiq starting.
Definitely with who we currently have on the roster, Sadiq will start.
Right.
Might be a little sketchy in the beginning, but him getting reps, playing real games, I believe in him. I thought he was the fifth best talent in this past draft class. I feel like it was the first four guys and then Sadiq. And then 7 guys drafted in between. I feel like other teams made mistakes, in my opinion. Right.
Yeah, I think Sadiq was a steal. He was supposed to be a second round pick, but of course, he had gotten a little trouble and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's gonna be great for us. Let's see here. Shout out to English Skins. He's a great guy too. He's got a YouTube channel.
What's up, English Skins?
Let's see here. Yeah, I see y'all talking about Chris Sims. Carlos Perez said if Reuben Foster is healthy, he starts alongside Thomas Davis Sr. and what other linebacker, Anderson, Bostic, or anybody else?
For me, I have, if Reuben Foster healthy, I have him at will, Sean John Hamilton at Mike, and it's going to be between Thomas Davis, Orion Anderson, and Sam for me, because Sean John Hamilton is probably our smartest, especially out of the young guys, our smartest linebacker. His block shedding is already better than Cole Holcomb. Cole Holcomb's faster, but still Sean John Hamilton is way better in coverage. I think Pro Football Focus said Sean John Hamilton was either the second or the third best linebacker in the entire league last season, coverage-wise. So, and then with Jack Del Rio, with the 4-3 system, he's dependent on the front four guys to get all the QB pressure. So the linebackers won't be blitzing or anything. They'll mostly be in coverage, like the vast majority of the time. So we're going to need good coverage linebackers. That's something Reuben Foster can definitely do when healthy. That's something Sean Dale Hamilton has already proven at the NFL level he can do consistently. And then you have Thomas Davis, the vet, who can start day one, or you have Ryan Anderson, who those those couple of games after Ryan Kerrigan got hurt looked like a second-round pick finally, and he can start at Sam. He's improved his coverage, especially against tight ends. I mean, against the smaller, shifty guys, it may be a problem, but if we have him at Sam and not Will, he'll be on the strong side of the offensive line where the tight end is at anyway, so he'll be held responsible for covering tight ends, which is something he's actually good at now. He got better. And then his ability to rush off the edge when needed as a Sam linebacker is also really good. He progressed mightily in that area of his game. Those 2 games, he tied in the entire NFL in forced fumbles in 2019 and only started like 2-3 games. So that should tell you everything you should know about his potential. But I can see a scenario where Thomas Davis starts day 1 at Sam.
Yeah, I agree. I think Cole Holcomb's going to be in the mix too. I don't know if Cole's going to start, but I like Cole Holcomb, man. I thought he had a good year last year. He was a little rough in coverage a little bit, but I thought Cole showed a lot of potential. I like Cole. He's a 5th round pick. Let's see here. Somebody else said something here. Thank you, Jimmy Z. Thank you, man. Both of you guys are awesome. Love your content. Keep on bringing us the Skins news. Yes, sir. Definitely. Yeah, I do see some Giants fans in here. I do see y'all. I know they say they say Haskins looks like Troy Ave. I know. I see y'all. I see y'all trying to troll up in here.
Wait, somebody said Haskins looks like Troy Ave. I never even thought about that. They do got the big head and the small face. Oh, that's wild. I haven't even listened to Troy Ave in forever, too. That's crazy.
Yeah, ever since he got locked. Well, I think he got locked up for something. But yeah. Thank you, Typical Zach. Danny Fumbles. Daniel Fumbles. That's what I call Danny. I don't call him Danny Dimes. I call him Danny Fumbles. That's what I call him. He had 18 fumbles last year. For all you Giants, 18 fumbles. Imagine
somebody help that man.
Imagine what Chase Young's going to do to that guy. I guess we'll get the last question in here before we sign off. Dennis Kenlock says, who do you think will play wide receiver number 2 to start the year off? AGG or Kelvin Harmon?
I feel like AGG's potential is a little bit higher, especially with him being 2 inches taller and having a great release off the line of scrimmage. So even normally big receivers, you try to press man cover them, throw them off their route timing. But his release off the line of scrimmage is really good too. So, but Kelvin Harmon is slightly more seasoned vet going into his sophomore year. And he's been working out with Dwayne Haskins since I think he was the first person to start working out with him. I think Terry McLaurin was second. Kelvin Harmon's been working with Dwayne Haskins, I think, since winter or something. So their chemistry has to be crazy right now. So I think just off of that and with him being a year further into his career, I feel like Kelvin Harmon will start day 1 unless AGG just somehow in training camp just comes out here with just pristine route running and just looks absolutely unguardable and uncoverable. Then he may start over Kelvin Harmon day 1. I feel like AGG eventually throughout the season or over the course of a couple of seasons, he may emerge as wide receiver number 2 over Kelvin Harmon. But I feel like Kelvin Harmon, mainly because him and Dwayne Haskins have been just working out nonstop for months now. Kelvin Harmon has the edge, me personally.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I got Kelvin starting. I think AGG has more potential. And you never know. Maybe by game 8 or something, AGG might find his way in that starting lineup somehow. I'm pretty high on AGG. That was other than Chase Young, that was my favorite pick. And I love the Gibson pick, but I love AGG pick because AGG, I feel like AGG was supposed to be like a 3rd rounder, not a 2nd rounder or 1st rounder, but definitely probably should have went in the 3rd round. And us getting him in the 4th, later 4th round pick because we got Sadiq in the beginning and then we got AGG. I was hyped when we got AGG. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Finesse, for the donation. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream, man. Make sure you guys sub to my man Rico, man. His link is down in the description, man. I gained so much knowledge from Rico when I watched this channel, man. This guy knows everything, all the positions, the history of the Redskins, just everything, man. He's doing his thing out of the ATL, man. I actually kind of want to move to Atlanta. That's one of the places where I kind of want to move to.
I get that a lot, man. When I lived in New York, everybody was like, why did you come here? Everybody loves Atlanta for some reason. I don't exactly understand. It's home. I always love Atlanta, but I kind of see it, but I don't really see it like that. Y'all good where y'all at, man. Plus the traffic is already really bad. Don't make it worse.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard. But all right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. All right, y'all. Hell to them skins. Peace.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir.